Welcome to Spotlight on Bensenville. My name is Frank DeSimone, Village President and your host for this episode. Today we'll be discussing the Chicago Honor Flight and the Law Enforcement Hockey Classic fundraiser with Harry Ng, U.S. Army veteran, Vietnam, and via Zoom we have Doug Meffley, Director of Communications, Honor Flight Chicago. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you.
So Doug, I guess I don't know where I'm talking to Doug at, but your annual Law Enforcement Hockey Classic fundraiser is returning to the Edge Ice Arena, and we're excited. Can you share what Honor Flight Chicago does and its mission?
Yeah, so Honor Flight Chicago honors our senior war veterans from the Vietnam War, the Korean War, and World War II with a day of honor, thanks, and inspiration in our nation's capital at the memorials built in tribute to their service. So this entire mission began back in 2004 when the World War II memorial was finally completed, and we wanted to get our World War II veterans to that memorial. The day quickly became so much more than just the sightseeing trip to that memorial and about a thank you from our younger generations to our greatest generations and those who served after in a way that they never received before. And now that we're primarily honoring Vietnam War veterans, it's about giving them the respect that they did not receive when they came home, and most importantly, that welcome home that they did not receive when they came home.
Doug, the Honor Flight Chicago honors both men and women, correct?
That's correct. In fact, in the last 3 years, we only had one flight that did not include a woman veteran. We've flown more women in recent years than we have earlier in our history. It's been great.
Harry, as a Vietnam War veteran, can you tell us about your time in the service and the experiences that shaped you?
Sure. Well, for starters, I want to preface this as I didn't start out with the intent to have a career in the military.
Okay.
I was a pretty good student in high school, graduated with honors. And when I graduated, I was ready to go to the University of Illinois and pursue a career in pre-med and then become a doctor. Well, about early in my second year, my dad suffered an illness and passed away. That was a pretty traumatic experience for me, and frankly, I kind of lost my way. My grades suffered mainly because I wasn't going to class and things like that. And by the end of that semester, that year, I managed to flunk out, okay? And ironically, one of the classes that contributed to that was that I failed Air Force ROTC of all things, okay? So now I'm out in the street, and back in those days, the draft board was in existence, and of course they say, hey, you out there, come on and visit us. And so, I decided that rather than wait and get drafted, I'd go find out about this. And I talked to a recruiter who said, I could give you a school, but you got to sign up for 3 years. And I chose a class in electronics, general crypto repair at Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, and I enlisted. Coming into the service, for me at that time, was probably the best thing ever to happen. First of all, it gave me a disciplined environment, and it gave me an opportunity in an academic setting to prove myself, mainly to myself. Right. Okay. Well, I graduated as the honor graduate in that class. I was selected for officer candidate school and went to Fort Sill, and in 1966 I was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the artillery. Well, the Vietnam War is going on, and so within 4 months, I'm on board an aircraft headed to Vietnam to the 1st Infantry Division, the Big Red One, and that was a big turning point for me. I had the pleasure, the honor of serving with some great officers that took me under their wing. I saw some magnificent soldiers that didn't necessarily want to be there in the war. Certainly nobody honestly wants to go to war, but they were there and they served proudly and they did a great job. And I was motivated with that experience to change what started out as a detour in my career pattern to pursue a career in the military. Okay, so in the years that followed, the Army sent me back to complete my degree, sent me for a master's degree in finance. I became a CPA on the side, on top of that, and I had the pleasure of commanding several units artillery units at the battery level, one in Korea, another one in Germany, and then later on as a lieutenant colonel, I went back to Korea and commanded that artillery battalion on the DMZ, an area where I served before. When I wasn't doing combat arms type things, I was doing the financial side of the Army, and so I ended up going to the Pentagon, like many of us did. I became the controller for the Army National Guard with a $5 billion budget, and later on the chief financial officer for all the U.S. forces stationed in Korea. So I had a great career there, and before retiring, I came back to head the organization that orchestrated the downsizing, the Cold War benefit that we had, and I retired as a full colonel in 1994.
That's impressive. Oh my goodness. Tell us some of that hardware you have there. It's gorgeous.
Well, I've been fortunate to be in a lot of situations. I've got a Bronze Star with a V device there, and we were getting mortared at the time, and so that was, for being a fool. The others kind of say where I've been and that I've held a number of positions of high responsibility and things. But, this is the country recognizing people, and I think that that's very, very important. We don't do enough of that today, unfortunately. We're always kind of looking for the short side of people rather than looking for their accomplishments, and I think that's a big mistake.
I agree with you 100%. 100%. From a veteran's perspective, how did Honor Flight Chicago impact you personally?
Well, I thought after 30 years and coming back from Vietnam, I had managed that situation pretty well, getting closure and all. It turns out I was very, very wrong. And recently I learned about Honor Flight, and I had the honor of being on a flight in June last year. And as you know, it takes you to Washington, and I went there with a mission. I had a list of 5 names. 2 of them were classmates of mine from OCS that died in the first combat assignment. 2 were soldiers that served with me in my unit in Vietnam that were later killed late in their tours. And the last one was the name of a captain with whom I taught gunnery with at Fort Sill, and he was killed in his second assignment back to Vietnam. So to me, going there, it was a very emotional event to see their names. Excuse me.
Listen. I get it. But hold on, if you make the mayor cry, we cut the show off. Just letting you know that.
Okay, well, thanks. That helped me out. So they weren't just names on a wall.
Yeah.
There's a lot of meaning there, and it tells me it's a country that remembers, and that's very important. We don't always remember that, and I'd like to encourage everybody out there to be thinking about that. And Honor Flight gave me that opportunity for closure, and but that's not all of it. You'll go and visit a lot of these different memorials and things like that, and that was really great. But coming back on the airplane, they have a thing called mail call. All right. Now, those that haven't been in the service may not understand what that term is, but basically what it is, you flock around your unit about 5 o'clock in the evening, and somebody comes out with the mail and it calls off your name and hands you your envelope and things like that. And on the flight back, they hold a mail call. And they're really sneaky because they contact your family members and they reach out, and all those family members and friends, have an opportunity to send you a note thanking you and things like that. I'm getting all choked up,
okay.
And that was really there. But when we arrived back at O'Hare, that was wonderful. You come on there, and there is a welcome group, a throng of people, families that you don't even know. Mm-hmm. And they're out there with their kids, and they're all reaching out, and they're saying, thank you for your service and things like that. And then when I looked up, there's my partner of 20 years, Fran Zollers, out there, along with my son and my oldest nephew, Scott. And they've been out there for hours waiting for us to get back, and they were part of that welcome crew. I got to tell you, this is an unusual moment for me, okay? But it was very emotional. And I will tell you, what Honor Flight does is it gives us this moment that especially the Vietnam vets didn't get a chance to experience like they had in World War II, et cetera.
Yeah.
And for me, it was a very, very emotional unit. And I think that if you're a veteran out there, sign up for this thing, come out there and realize that you've got a grateful nation out there that is appreciative of your service.
And Doug knows this, and I tell this in every show to every member that comes on, is I think the respect is lost. I really do, and the appreciation is lost. But it starts at home. Like, for example, I tell the story, Doug knows the story. My son, 8th grade, we're going through O'Hare, going to see the Cubs play the Marlins in Miami. We're late, we're running to the gate. I turn around, I don't see my son. My son is shaking every service member's hand on the way to that gate because that's what we brought him out for. We're out to dinner, we see servicemen and women, we buy them dinner, or we buy them a dessert, or we do that. And it's by their doing, even my daughter, it's by their doing. Hey, Dad, did you see those guys? Can we buy them something? To me, that's the smallest token, is the biggest honor for men and women in uniform, law enforcement, firefighters. I mean, it's a kick out of it because you don't hear that often anymore, and that's lost. So I appreciate that story, and I love hearing stories, and we can do this whole show on stories if we wanted to. I really would. I wouldn't mind it at all. But again, thank you for your service. We need more people like you. We need more people like Doug, and we need this organization and this event to get bigger and better so we can do more. And Doug, moving on with that, how many honor flights have been organized from Chicago nationwide to date?
Yeah, so we are proud to be the largest hub in the entire Honor Flight network across the country. We've grown to over 130 hubs across the nation. Here in Chicago, we've reached 126 flights. We've honored over 12,000 veterans with this trip to Washington, D.C. And as a whole, as a movement, we're now over 400,000 senior war veterans who have received this treatment across the country.
How could someone sign up a veteran or nominate a friend or relative for Honor Flight?
HonorFlightChicago.org is our website, and it has all the information that anyone needs. There's a simple application for Vietnam, Korean, and World War II veterans that's available there. Our phone number is on the website if you have any questions. The only requirement that we have is that you are on active duty during a time of war. And the way that we define that is from December 7th, 1941, basically all the way through May of 1975. We don't care where you served. We don't care what your job was. If you served during a time of war, you're deserving of our thanks, and we want you to sign up.
This question is going to be for the both of you, but I'm going to start with you first, Doug. Do you have any memorable stories from these honor flights that illustrate their significance for veterans and their families?
I don't know that I can tell a story better than what Harry just described, because you hear that so often. Last year, we flew a veteran early in the season, and he sent us a 3-page letter afterwards. And in it, he talked about how much he didn't want to go on this trip. He was annoyed to get up early. He had such a disagreeable experience, not only with his service, but in coming home and how he was treated when he came home, that there was a lot of anger there. And he wanted nothing to do with this, but his wife really pushed him to do it, knowing how valuable it would be for him. And in the letter, he expressed how he went from that annoyance and anger on the way to the airport in the morning to seeing the hundreds of volunteers that we have, every one of them genuinely welcoming and genuinely excited to thank our heroes for their service. And he took that welcome in the morning, and his emotions progressed throughout the day from one of sadness in how he was treated and the way he'd felt for decades, to thankfulness. And then the words he used at the end were pride, self-worth, and joy was what he felt after he received his welcome home. And kind of what Harry said, where he didn't know he needed that closure. This veteran didn't know that he needed that welcome to wash away those years of resentment that he felt. And that's we talk about over 400,000 veterans that we've honored. Every one of them, it's a big number, but every individual has some interaction like that or some experience during the day that gives them that closure that whether they know they needed it or not, they get it.
Harry, same question.
I would parrot exactly what you said. Personally, I thought I had closure before going, but I want to tell you my personal experiences. Don't be one of those thinking that if you served during that period of time, go out and participate and experience this opportunity to let this nation show you how appreciative it is and get you that closure.
At the very least, you deserve it, right? You deserve that closure. You deserve that. At the very least, please jump on board, sign up, nominate somebody. Let's show everybody that we really respect our men and women in uniform. Doug, what do veterans experience during these flights, and what makes the day so special for them?
So in that vein, it's the genuine thankfulness that not only our volunteers have, but everyone that we meet along the day. The trip itself, it's a very long day. We have folks get up early to come to Midway, but we have that big welcoming committee that puts you through all the processes. We handle everything. You don't need to worry about a thing. Medical conditions, trouble walking, we take care of it all. We travel with nurses and doctors, and our number one priority is the safety and comfort of our veterans, and we deliver on that. So when we get to Washington, D.C., we've got lots of pomp and circumstance and surprises I won't go completely into, but we do visit the memorials in D.C., always World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And then depending on the trip, it changes from trip to trip. We've got different ceremonies that we'll do, different special guests that will come, and different stops that we'll make. And then it all culminates in what Harry described on the plane ride home, that joyful experience, and then the welcome home. But from the volunteers that we have, the DC volunteers who live in DC and come out to support our flights every month that we fly, but the general public, the number of school kids who will be on school trips around the memorials in DC who will walk up to our veterans and say thank you for your service. It's that genuine thankfulness that so many veterans don't realize is out there, but it is, that they experience on this trip that makes it so special.
So Doug, how can viewers support Honor Flight Chicago or get involved in its mission?
So again, honorflightchicago.org is the place to go for all of the information. Right now, we're well into what we call our Vietnam era. We've been flying Vietnam veterans since just before the COVID pandemic. And we've flown over 3,000 Vietnam veterans. We still have a healthy waiting list, but we know there are a lot of Vietnam veterans out there who haven't signed up for our trip, either because they don't know about our mission, they don't understand fully what our mission is about, or they don't think that they deserve or need this experience. And we want them to know that whatever the reason was that you've been waiting, it's your turn to sign up now. So many have gone, so many who've served all over the globe during the Vietnam War have had this experience, and now it's your turn. So if you have a veteran in your life who hasn't taken this trip or who has expressed any interest or maybe has expressed not wanting to go, now is your time to convince them it's their turn, and we want to give them this experience.
Gentlemen, we have a whole nother episode. I just got to take a break. Can you hang out for a few more minutes?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
You're watching Bensenville TV, providing local government programming to residents 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, featuring board meetings, news, events, bulletin boards, and original programming about the services provided by our municipal government and affiliated organizations. Always on, offering community information anytime. To find out more, visit our website, www.bensenville.il.us. Live, learn, explore. Bensenville Community Television.
Hello, welcome back to Spotlight on Bensenville. My name is Frank DeSimone, Village President, your host for this episode. Today we are discussing Chicago Honor Flight and the Law Enforcement Hockey Classic fundraiser with Harry, who is a U.S. Army veteran and from the Vietnam War. And via Zoom, we have Doug, Director of Communications, Honor Flight Chicago. Gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you for hanging out. Right back to you, Doug. What are the opportunities for volunteering and how can people sign up?
There's lots of different ways to volunteer. The primary way that folks volunteer for us is on our flight days. We have over 300 volunteers who come out for every single flight day to support us in the morning and in the evening. But beyond that, we have teams that go out into the community to recruit veterans to fly, to share about our mission. We have volunteers who conduct veteran interviews. We have volunteers who work on different mail projects that we have and work in the office. There's a lot of different ways to contribute to our mission beyond just the flight itself. And all of that is on our website at honorflightchicago.org. There's a button that says how to apply, and you'll click on volunteer. It lists all those different areas that you can help, but then also the button to sign up and get yourself involved in our mission.
I understand that you're also real big on social media. So what kind of content can people expect to find there?
Lots and lots and lots of videos from our flights and photos of our veterans, personal stories like Harry shared and like the one that I shared earlier. We love to share those on our social media. Things that'll inspire, and that's a big part of our mission, is that word inspire our generations to have that respect and honor of our veterans. You'll find a lot of that type of content and sentiment on our social media platforms.
So tell us a little bit about 2026's Law Enforcement Hockey Classic. What can we expect? I mean, I know.
You can expect a great hockey game.
Yes.
This is the 13th edition. It's the Chicago Police versus the Chicago FBI. Obviously a natural rivalry there. They have a lot of fun on the ice, and they really enjoy playing in this game for our veterans. So not only will the game be there, and that's the primary showcase, but we've got a lot of ceremony that goes into it. We'll honor veterans on the ice before the game. We have a very special lineup this year. Not only will Harry be on the ice being honored, we have a 105-year-old female World War II veteran who's coming out to the game. And we have a Korean War veteran whose father was a world heavyweight champion and fought in World War I, and then he followed in his dad's footsteps to serve during the Korean War. We're excited about these veterans that we'll honor on the ice, and folks will get a chance to cheer and meet them. But then there's a fan zone before the game with a lot of games and prizes, raffles, and different fundraising elements that are always a ton of fun, merchandise to get. It's a really, really fun evening out at the Edge Ice Arena, and we hope you come and come early.
Absolutely. How can people buy tickets?
Tickets are available on our website, honorflightchicago.org. You'll see it right when you get there. There's a big button that says buy tickets. And then calling our office is the other way that we can help you out if you have questions about the tickets that you want to buy. We've got some premium options. We have a skybox available, some reserved tables that you can get, group tickets if you want to bring out family and friends at a reduced rate. So all that information again on the website, and if you give our office a phone call, we'll help you out there too.
Enough of you, Doug. Harry, welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
Anything else you'd like to share about your experience with Honor Flight Chicago?
No, maybe I just wrap it up and say, those you veterans out there, I really mean it. Get out there and participate in this thing. Give your country, and especially Honor Flight, in my case, Honor Flight Chicago, this is the kind of an organization that reaches out, that is part of that remembrance and honoring of the service that you've given. And for that, I want to tip my hat to Doug and the crew out there, and thank you very much for what you did.
Doug, what about your closing thoughts?
Just thank you so much to the Village of Bensenville for hosting this hockey game for the last 13 years and for really welcoming us into the community. It's the unofficial kickoff to our flight season every year. Our volunteers love it. Obviously the teams love it, and being able to bring our veterans out is a big deal. So we hope to see you out there and help us kick off 2026 in the right way.
My closing thing is, this is an awesome event. This is probably one of the best ones we do every year. We need more people to participate. We need more people to show up. We need more people to volunteer, purchase tickets. I also encourage you, if you are coming to the game, get there early. Even though the puck dropped, get there early. Spend some money on some raffle tickets. Have some fun in the fun zone. But parking is also going to be a premium the later we go. We probably average about 2,000, 2,500 plus people. So get there early. So that's my suggestion out there. One more time, Doug, website, phone number, want to share it with the audience?
honorflightchicago.org, and our phone number is 773-227-8387.
Doug, thank you for zooming in. Sir, thank you for your service and thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Yes.
And thank everybody out there for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Spotlight on Bensenville.